Good evening. Blame tag, welcome. Irish connection, welcome. What's up, Mel? What's up, hybrid? How's your journey this week? Uh-oh, hero getting her flowers. So how has everybody been? How's your life and customer service and all that other nonsense that we deal with? We're not really having a topic today per se, but I did ask a question on Twitter, and I think this is a good one to kind of talk about this evening or whatnot, and just kind of talk about how it affects us. Yeah, by the way, everybody wish Blame Tag a happy anniversary that does not know. How many years is it now? Blame Tag, what is it? Four? Three? I'm curious. I saw your post about getting married on your front lawn. What was that all about? Three. Hybrid says, well, I'll probably back up again after this weekend. There will be only two managers. Uh-oh. Were some terminations handed out? Was somebody promoted to customer? By the way, hybrid. When I came to see you the other day, I don't recall if I mentioned this on the last stream. I may have. I don't know. But when we were leaving, um, I saw that you guys had some shippers of Kinders rubs, and I guess that's how you say it, Kinders. Maybe it's Kinders. I don't know. Anyway, I'm a big fan of the Buttery Steakhouse, and where I work, it is $6.48 a container, and you guys had them on sale for $2. Yes, the barbecue stuff. It is an amazing rub for steaks. It actually has like dehydrated butter in it. It's really, really good. So I got three for the price of less than one where I work. So I'm glad I made that visit. That was pretty cool. What's up, TM Lens? Enjoy the work life. Blame Tech says we didn't want to have a big wedding, so we used the COVID lockdown as an excuse to have a small wedding and live stream it. Oh, that's cool. Howard says one quit like in March and another one's last day is Saturday. Nice. Iris says I've applied for two more jobs and got 20 days PTO carried over from last year that I didn't take, so an oddly good week. So that's good. Howard says, yeah, that and the vitamins are an actual great deal. The vitamins go at Walmart for $15 and we have them for $4. I didn't see the vitamins. But boy, I saw the steak rub. I'm like, oh, hell, I'm buying these. And then we went to the Asian supermarket next door to scope out like all the interesting things. If any of you miss pudding pops, if you go to like an Asian grocery store and look in the frozen food, they have this thing. It looks like a panda bear. It looks like it's vanilla and chocolate. According to Hero, it tastes just like pudding pops because she's been distraught for years that they discontinued those. So if that's what you're into, go get it. Yeah, the steak rub is the deal to have. That is. I mean, I probably should have bought more, but I rotate steak rubs. My favorite really is Rufus tea. It's really really good. It has coffee in it too, which is kind of cool. Very savory. Actually, after the stream, I've got three tri-tips. Have been sitting in the fridge since 4 o'clock with rub on them, so it'd be tasty eats after the stream. So anyway, what I was saying was I had posted a question on Twitter today, and oh, Iris says special food offer from Ireland. Anyone that wants to try a spice bag, I'll send you over the pre-mixed stuff we get over here. Hero, do you want to try out a spice bag? I know we watched the video, and I sent the video to Irish, and he was like, yes, that's it. Okay, so Hero says yes. She wants the premix. So Irish, do you guys do the curry there, or was that something that he added in? And this is getting weird because my chair, the cylinder is starting to go out, and I'm slowly going like a little bit at a time. Blame tag says he's down. Um, Blame tag, what you think about that video? I know you said Mrs. Blame tag can't stand Sam, but originally I couldn't, and Hero couldn't either. But as we continue to watch, it's pretty entertaining. So oh, you do the curry? We'll post that too. So I'm assuming you can go into like a store or whatnot, and they've got like pouches of all the seasoning and everything for a spice bag, and then you just add the ingredients. Is that what it is? Yeah, he is interesting to watch. I enjoy him, but I have a history of dealing with or befriending assholes, so I guess it's no surprise that I like Sam the cooking guy. I'd like to try poutine though. I've done something pretty close. What's up, Alex? Good to see you. Yeah, blame tag. They are. There's another cook that we watch, Brian Lagerson, I think. He's another fun one. Okay, gotcha. Well, I mean, it gets us in the ballpark because we're all grubby Americans. We don't know. I'm like, I watched it. That's the reason I sent you the video. I'm like, what the fuck is a spice bag? I'm like, surely they're making something up. And that's why I sent it to you. You're like, oh, nope, nope, nope. That's it. That's it. Um, and then I did see the thing you sent me about Kerrygold. TM Lynn says you need to make sure you have really good cheese curds for poutine. True. Um, oh, blame tag. You talking about Brian Lagerstrom? I can't remember his last name. It's Lagerstrom or Lagerstrom. Yeah, but he's good too. Um, Good stuff. Yeah, Alex, I haven't had it. I mean, basically, it's like French fries and gravy with cheese curds. I've got the French fries and gravy thing down. You go to like a meat and three that's got like hamburger steak or whatnot with gravy and onions and dip the French fries in it. You're close. Oh, tots instead of fries. I love tots. I've been told poutine is delicious as well. I think Sam actually did a video on that. He does really really weird stuff like where he double fries his fries. So like he lets them fry for a little bit, then increases the heat, then dumps them back in, and they're like crispy. Oh, um, speaking of Culver's, I don't know if any of you like fish. Um, I've gotten hooked on Culver's cod, and it has no business being as good as it is. It's fucking delicious. If you like codfish, um, this fried, I highly recommend it. It shouldn't be that good, but it is. I have a Canadian friend in California that scoffs at every American effort he's ever come across. Yeah, like I can see that because I'm sure we're. Um, have you had one, Alex? Because if you have, you can confirm that that joint, that codfish has no business being as good as it is at basically a burger joint. It is ridiculous, ridiculous good. And I miss Long John Silver's tremendously. We don't have one close by. Well, we have one close by, but you roll the dice if you go to eat there. Uh, oh, try it out, Alex. They have the sandwich version. They have a dinner version that's 2 piece or 4 pieces. I don't see how somebody can eat 4 pieces, but it is good. Yeah, cheese and gravy is kind of weird being in the South. You know, I'll use Team Linses usually use steak fries. Tots, man. We have a place close by that has this like loaded tater tot appetizer. It's got like this ranch sauce. Oh my god, it's delicious. It's like bar. It's like the ultimate bar food. I could eat that at any point in time. It's Hero's not a tot. I don't think anybody in my family's a tot fan other than me. Love tots. Um, Alex says cheese is good and gravy is good. Nom 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 nom. Although you couldn't, I don't think it would be very good if you did like a traditional, um, white Southern gravy. That would not be good. Hybrid, you haven't been to Stacks yet? If you go to Stacks and you like fish, get their flounder. It's delicious. It's very rich. You will have a hard time finishing it, but it is really, really good. And Hero can't eat them anymore. She developed a food allergy to pork, but she will tell you that their Monte Cristo sandwich is ridiculously good. Why no tots, Mel? Just curious. Oh, your fiance's making dinner. Awesome. Yeah, you should hybrid. It's really really good, man. I mean, and that's a local staple. That thing has been around, God, for years, and the same family has owned it forever. It's good. Like, what's really crazy is if you get lazy and you don't want to do cook Thanksgiving dinner, their Thanksgiving is pretty fucking good too. Oh, you don't like the texture? Okay, that's fair. Do you like hash browns? Like McDonald's hash browns? I'm assuming no. Yeah, it's really weird because she loved it. She loved bacon. I used to do these fried, thin cut um pork chops, and it's just one of those things. Pork and eggs actually. Uh, we ate at Copper River. Um, I think it might have been that same day. It what we got was good. They had shrimp and flounder. The shrimp was delicious. The flounder wasn't so great, but we had to get tires done, so it was walking distance, and we had to wait. So that was it. 3 Wednesdays ago. Okay, cool. Oh, okay. All right, Mel. That makes sense. Obviously. Oh, that means that you don't like the Lord's hash brown thingies at Chick-fil-A or the little hash brown nuggets at Burger King. Oh, that's fire. That's great stuff. Speaking of Chuck E. Cheese, I saw somebody I worked with from Kmart who actually literally said that Chuck E. Cheese had the best pizza. I'm like, okay, that person must be on drugs because there's no way. There is absolutely no way. Yeah, shredded hash browns are great. Oh, like Waffle House hash browns. I mean, if you've eaten at Waffle House and don't like their hash browns, you got a problem. I mean, they're delicious, absolutely delicious. And blame tag, what did you had posted something that went through? Oh, yeah, a grouper Reuben. How was that? I know the only time I've had grouper is my first wife's dad lived in Destin, Florida, and we went down there to visit. And there was this seafood restaurant is right around Fort Walton Beach, called Scampy's, and they had grilled grouper and grilled wahoo. And the grouper was good, but the wahoo tasted like damn steak. I was like, wow. What's up, blank stairs? No apologies needed. I know how much the tree takes up your time. You got to get every free minute you can to do things you need to do. Alex, my family gave me a hard time there for a while. I just didn't want to eat Burger King burgers, and then as of fairly recently, I'm like, oh yeah, they're pretty good. That their version of like the Baconator is ridiculously good, but they have to haul you out of the restaurant in a wheelbarrow after you finish that thing. Oh yeah, I've caught grouper before. My father and I used to go deep sea fishing. Fun fact: if you've never been deep sea fishing, when the fish come up out of the water, due to the pressure change, they're like innards like pop out of their mouth. Sorry, didn't want to make anybody grossed out. Mel says I haven't had Burger King since I got food poisoning from one in New Iberia, Louisiana. Wow. Had BK before the podcast. That's good. Yep. Hey, TM Lens, food's what makes the world go around. I mean, that's why we're stuck in these fucking jobs because we like to eat. That's it. I mean, if we didn't have to buy food, life, all our career paths would probably be a little different. I love talking about food. You know, the retail foodie sessions is what this is going to become, which there's nothing wrong with that at all. I'm okay with that. Um, but yeah, Burger King's burgers are good. Blaine says, Mel, there's one in my hometown that gave me the most violent food poisoning I've ever had in my life. I lost 6 pounds overnight. Good God. Team Liz is just an observation. I enjoy hearing y'all talk about food. Well, when you get all people from all different places and you know demographics and regions and whatnot, the food conversation can be kind of interesting. Um, Hybrid says there's an idea for a podcast: customers, local versus chain. Oh yeah. Mel says, "See, prove can't." Burger King. The only restaurants ever given me food poisoning was Arby's, and that's been over almost 30 years ago. Hero says that's what I tell our children. They're like, no, don't go to work, and I'm like, y'all like to eat still, right? Yep. Local beats chain any day. I would agree with that, but I guess this is kind of cheating. My favorite restaurant is Ted's Montana Grill. It's Ted Turner's restaurant chain. And you know, obviously they're all over Atlanta, but he's in Montana, so that almost kind of is like cheating. Like it's you know he's Atlanta based. That would be. Would we consider that local? I don't know, but it's great. If you haven't had it, I highly recommend. People think I'm weird. Like my burger tiers, my number one favorite burger is Ted's Montana Grill, and then surprisingly, my second favorite burger is Culver's. I'm still mad at Arby's. They got rid of the potato cakes, which you wouldn't have eaten those anyway, Mel, because they're like hash browns too. Yeah, and Hero refused to go to KFC the other night. I had a wild hair, and I'm like, I want to try the extra crispy chicken nuggets, and she was like, no. I'm like, yes, ma'am. Okay, I got you. Okay, so let's get into some serious stuff real quick. So I asked a question on Twitter today, and I think this is a good conversation to have. And it's really interesting when you think back on the moments that kind of broke you, you know. So the question I asked was, what was the moment that you realized working in retail, quote unquote, broke you? And then we have Mel said when a customer stood in my office and threatened to quote unquote blow his brains out because me and the guy at the Circle K were working with the feds and watching him, and while we were distracting him, our team emptied out his whole apartment. And we're now after him. Some of these are just crazy. I read that, I'm like, wow. And then the next one was crazy too. Lee Davis, the time a drunk, always problematic customer asked if my husband knew how to play with my chest, and my DM told me to just not be on the floor alone with him anymore. That's the moment I knew retail workers aren't seen as people. And I was just like, wow. And then Sassy Maggie, during the pandemic and customers being overwhelmingly extra at the worst time, which was true. Declan Byrne, during the pandemic, that was the worst experience ever working in retail. I would probably agree with that. Railheads podcast, when the general manager threatened to write me up after I called the police on a customer threatening to shoot the place up. This was right after the Colorado theater shooting. For the record, corporate had my back and wrote up the GM. So that's cool. And then Pinstriped, customer threatened to go home and get her husband's gun and shoot me and my manager because she decided to come in at store open and request $1,000 cash refund, and it was taking the manager too long to get the cash from the safe. Apparently, too long was approximately 3 minutes. And then he had another one that says, or it was the time a working man and his teenage daughters talked down to me like they were better than me. I know your job is just so hard, but please try not to crush this item, then burst out in laughter. Turns out that's a good way to get your items broken on purpose. And then I don't miss Apple retail, which would be our friend H, who from Australia. Having two colleagues come to me for the support on two separate occasions, breaking down, revealing the job made them feel suicidal. I kept that I was barely managing to get through a loss, a secret from everyone. It shook me and was my green light to leave. Fuck that job. And then Gilgamesh, who's been on the show, when a customer yelled at me just because me and a coworker switched places on the sales floor, the dumb bitch thought I was trying to steal commission and got loud and in my face. I was ready to fight, and I'm not a violent person. But wait, there's more. Grayson Kent, here in the chat. If you've seen Empire Records, then you know the moment when Corey completely loses her shit. That happened to me. That was the moment. And yet it still took another 8 or 9 years for me to get the real message and get the fuck out. Seriously, though, it was Christmas, of course, and I was behind the register trying to deal with 5 million things, and a dear customer said something I can't even remember anymore, and I just snapped. I walked away without a word, started knocking shit over, went into the back room, started screaming, and my poor teenage staff had to rush in and restrain me until I screamed myself out. It was not pretty. And then Karen says, when a dude ripped me a new asshole while my boss listened in from behind the shop door. When the dude left, boss comes in and asks if the guy gave me a hard time. Boss was smirking as he asked this. And then our good friend Blame Tag, working at the movie theater as a manager but manning the ticket counter, and one of our regular couples came in. They were usually pretty friendly. Unfortunately, I had to inform them the show they wanted to see was nearly sold out, only front row seats available. Suddenly, the husband, who again was usually very nice, just started yelling at me like, why does this always happen every time we come here? Like I have any control over what movies sell out quickly. Anyway, I lost my shit and told him to get out. He tried to walk it back, and I just said, I'm not selling tickets to someone who talks to me that way. Good for you, Blame Tag. He seemed utterly shocked that he'd never been kicked out of a movie theater. He came back at a later time and behaved himself, but that was the moment I learned customers were generally trash, and even the nice ones just needed an excuse to show that they didn't see you as a person who deserved basic courtesy. And then Fall Colors PGH. When I would fantasize about being in a car accident or maimed so I didn't have to go to work. And then Blanky Boy says, during the pandemic, when we were giving a vaccine every 5 minutes and still expected to do our regular jobs. No help was offered, and corporate just let us down. So, yeah. And also, let me see. I know we had some new ones. Blank stares. Hearing customers speak and complain about things they know nothing about, such as store operations. Example, you need to hire more people. We're actually fully staffed, but on very slim hours budget, something they can't understand. Gotta love that shit. Absolutely insane. And it's, I love how people think that they know what they're doing, especially those, well, I used to work in retail. Wow. Hey, Mr. Dear Customer, Sean William Brown, welcome back. And yeah, I just got your message on Twitter. I just saw that. I know you've been kind of absent there a while. You ready to join us in all this mess again? The question was, what moment in retail was the moment that broke you, quote unquote? But that's what that was. Hero says, Blame Tag, what did you do with all the cardboard people you used to fill seats and piss people off? Wow. Let's see. Let me see what we had going on here. Mr. Brown. Alex says, if you used to work retail, you're not going to treat staff like shit, full stop. I know, that's the thing. I don't understand these people that, or it's never retail. It's like, well, I worked in customer service. Bull fucking shit. Maybe you did, like in 1956 or something, because it's always older people who say that. It's never really younger folk, you know. And when I say older people, I'm saying probably 60 plus has been my experience of the people that pull that shit out of their pocket. And it's like, what? Okay, cool. Well, that's great. You know, you worked in customer service. That's fantastic. Um, you're not doing any more. You worked in customer service. Um, you should know better. But those are also the people who fell complete victim to the customer was always right. So, um, Mr. Brown says when the DM told me I wasn't working hard enough after working 100 hours a week. Well, that's yeah, that'll break you. That will break you. By the way, Sean, are you still in asset protection? Because I know it's been a while. I would like to have you on a war zone. Um, just talking about how the shoplifting's out of hand right now and kind of get your thoughts on that because that's something we deal with every single day. And you know, it's getting to the point that it's so brazen and no one cares. I mean, it's so blatant, and I don't know if you guys are out there in LP. I don't know how you guys are dealing with this. I mean, it's just gotten out of hand, out of hand. DM called me lazy and not a team player. That's not how that works. It's not how any of that works. Uh, oh, hold up, blank stares. So we might have covered this when you were on, but you're working almost 40 hours a week, but you're still part time. Is that what they're doing? That's where you cool. All right, I'll message you in the next couple of days and we'll get it set up. Cuz you know, here's what we're doing. I know you haven't been around a while. You know, I took a break on Warzone. Social media is terrible, blah blah blah. Exactly. But we're doing the retail Warzone is going to be like the last week of every month. So, you know, you take a look at your schedule. If you're available the last Wednesday of this month, cool. If not, we can schedule it for the next. But yeah, I would definitely like to do that. And because it's out of hand. It's a runaway freight train right now. It's stupid. Let's see. Yeah, blank stares. That makes sense. That seems like what they would do. Oh, blame takes us, Steve. What was your moment where retail broke you? I was waiting to see who was going to ask that question. Um, you know, looking back at it, I've had, I think, one, two. There's three moments in my career that I can recall that. Well, actually, I take it back. Four, four. Um, the first one was at Hobby Lobby. There was something going on. I don't remember what. And I snapped and I walked into the stock room, grabbed the biggest vase I could find, and slung it against the wall. So there was that. Then the second time was Hobby Lobby, where my district manager came in and was on her trip or whatnot, and I'd been on vacation and things weren't handled, and I threw my keys at her and said, "Fuck this, you can run it." And I said, I've had enough of this. I said, I've been on vacation. You know, that's my time. You know, I'm not checking in with people. They were given orders what to do. And, you know, she raised hell and I literally threw my keys at her and I said, fine, fuck it. You run it. And then all of a sudden, you know, she backpedaled. And, you know, when I say that, mine and her relationship was actually pretty good. It was just, she was just hard to deal with sometimes. Um, and then, uh, Dollar Tree, because the Dollar Tree I worked in was in a low income area, high crime. And it was no matter how hard you tried and no matter how much work you did, however many hours, you could have that store looking perfect at 9 a.m. when you open the doors. And then by noon, it looked like nobody touched anything. And so you never had corporate visits walking in before the store opened. You always had them like in rush hour when the place was destroyed. And, you know, the theft was crazy. The clientele were just assholes. You know, we had a situation, and Dollar Tree also too circulates around my story about Gibson guitars and trying to work for them. You know, I was already in a bad place working for Dollar Tree at that point in time mentally. thought I was getting this like dream job that gets yanked out from under me, and I'm sitting back, and it was just like awful. And then the final one was when I was working for At Home. And, I had a district manager. The first district manager I had was a piece of shit, lazy as fuck. If he ever sees this, I don't fucking care. Call me. You have my number. I'll be more than happy to talk about it. But anyway, he was the regional manager's bitch, basically. And he never did any work. And, he let me fucking drown. Somebody from corporate blew the whistle on the fact that he hadn't been there. And the store was in bad shape when I took it over. And there was this whole nonsense. But I had an assistant manager who was full of shit, later got fired for fucking stealing. I still love that story. Anyway, I get phone calls from my DM on my day off because the assistant has called and complained that we didn't have enough staff there to do the truck. When we did, that my ass had to take my ass to work and unload a 52 fucking foot semi that's not palletized, is stacked from floor to ceiling by myself. Not once, not twice, but 4 fucking times. That fucking broke me. Fuck those assholes. And we finally got a new DM. Shit went down. The assistant got fucking fired for stealing or whatnot. I turned in my notice, and we were graded, like A, B, C, D. My last visit, the DM and his assistant come, and they're looking at me like, you sure you want to do this? Your store looks great. I'm like, fuck it, man. I'm gone. I'm out. Bye. Leaving on a high note. Fuck this shit. That regional VP and that original DM, fucking trash garbage. Trash garbage. Wouldn't piss on them if they were on fucking fire. So yeah, there's that. Happy blame tag. TM Lynn says I've had shit happen, some pretty major, but basically have always bounced back pretty easily. I'm probably one of the few people here that retail hasn't broken. Congrats. I've told the story before. The pandemic came, and I thought I was going to get back into what I was doing, and I enjoyed, and I wound up getting a job as a store manager over a music store in Atlanta, which is where I thought I wanted to be, and I was across the street from Ted's Montana Grill, and all these other things, and we were living in a friend's basement, and we couldn't find anywhere to rent that was affordable. COVID came, and they shut it down, and the guy who ran that company, he fucked with me too. And it was like, I kind of knew early on, I'm like, oh, this isn't going to work out. But the pandemic came, so it was kind of one of those situations where it was a stalemate. Like, I knew it wasn't going to work out, but they didn't know exactly what they were going to do. COVID happened. They shut the store down. They let us all off. And then here I am. But when that happened, I had a year and a half to think. And I'm like, I don't want to do it anymore. And Irish and I had a conversation about this a while back, a couple weeks ago, I think. We were messaging on Twitter. I said, even though what I do is kind of considered retail, I'm just a schmo. I just get to work and go home, and that is an amazing thing. To be able to go do your job. You're not over anybody. You're not accountable for anybody. I'm accountable for me. All right. And I do what I'm supposed to do, and I go home. Now, we've talked about in the past how you can't shut the manager off in your head, and you can't, and it's terrible, and I hate it. And there's some days are better than the others. I might go through a couple of weeks where I just don't fucking care. And then I'll hit a week where I'm like, God, this is fucking stupid. Why are these people acting this way? But it's not my spot. I don't have a name tag that says I'm in charge of anybody. I don't get paid to be in charge of anybody. It's just a byproduct of doing this for 3 decades or whatnot. But all in all, hey, I'm happy. I just work and I go home. I work. I buy steak, I cook steak, I eat, and I go to bed. No complaints. So, I'm good. TM Lynn's banking fucking broke me. Only job I've ever had where I was seen as a failure. Wells Fargo is as bad as the news makes it. Well, Hero has a banking background, so um, she she probably understands happy and being able to pay the bills. Exactly. I saw a friend from high school the other day. Because I work locally where I grew up. And I see people all the time, and it's this guy came up to me and we were talking, and we both kind of, you can't take any of this shit with you, right? I mean, it's not like when you die, you can take all your money and all your belongings. You can't, all right? So, I mean, you're born at point A, you die at point B. What you do in between is what matters. And by God, I don't care even if I'm broke, but as long as the bills are paid and we're eating, I just don't care. I really don't. I mean, that's how retail broke me. I just don't. I'm out of fucks to give. Um, all the Hobby Lobby managers were kind of hot. Well, I mean, no, not when I was there. No, we had one dude that we suspected had a coke problem. I mean, no. Actually, to be honest with you, we had a female DM, and at that time, Hero, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't until the store incoming. There wasn't a female store manager, was there? Wow, I just thought about that. Yeah. So we had a female DM, and at that particular moment in time, we had 13 stores in the district, and they were all male store managers. So, yeah. Hybrid says, what's his name's daughter works at the store. Asked me why I'm not manager anymore. Told her it's a trap. It's better not to hold keys. Oh, what? The other manager? Is that what you're saying? That we discussed the other day? I asked if it was there. Sean says crack addicts are flashing teenagers and it's destroying life. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Hero. Hero says I had an assistant manager who became a store manager who was hot. Yeah, that's how that works. Whatever. Now I'm old and have flaky. Oh, wow. Boy, I bet that's fun. That's never good. But I got one better for you. Imagine working for Jesus's craft store and getting a phone call that the owner of Jesus's craft store's niece is getting ready to start working in your store. You won't talk about seeing people whose eyes roll back in their head like, oh shit, my DM. Oh my God. I get this phone call. I need to talk to you. I'm like, well, I'm on the phone. What you got to say? And she's like, David Green's niece is coming to work at your store. I'm like, what? And she's like, of all fucking stores, because it was another area that wasn't so good. Like if she had came to the store I ran prior, she probably would have been okay. But and she fretted over this shit, and I was just like, okay. And actually, the employee wasn't that good, and she wound up quitting, so that was great. Um. Oh well, that's good. If they're good, that doesn't matter. You know, you always have to wonder about like the ear thing. They get in your ear and whatnot. So it's crazy. It's crazy. And blame tag, I saw that. I've been explaining keys to my coworkers. For those of you that are uninformed, keys is a set of keys with a red circle and a slash through it with the statement, keep enjoying your sanity by not taking them. It's keys. It's terrible. I mean, and they know it too. They're gonna throw some money at you, put some jingle on your belt loop. It's not gonna be great money, but it's gonna be enough to keep you. It's gonna be enough to be like, well, hey, I'm making more money now. It ain't fucking worth it, man. Here is this translation. She shows up. Ha! Hey, Sean, if you're still in the chat, you talked to Ranty Lady or Blame Tank, have you? I know he's kind of, I've seen like here or there. I think all of us kind of got tired of the social media shit. all around the same time. I think. I think you dipped out first. Then Ranty was dipped out, and then I was like, "Fuck this! This is nonsense." And it sucks because you need social media. Oh, hybrid. Ranty got blocked. Huh. Joey K, what's up? Hadn't seen you for a while. The store I work at only pays managers like $1 more than my job. No thanks, dude. I'm not getting up at 2 a.m. to check the alarm and dedicating my life to giving old ladies 5 cents off for an extra dollar. Hey, you are right. TM Lynn says, I'm dumb enough to stay in my ASM role and be a resource for our district for a couple of things. I am pretty stupid sometimes, but it's stuff I really like. Hey, but that we talk about the flip, how bad it is, but the flip side is sometimes you find yourself in a position in retail that's not bad, that you enjoy. And that's okay. That's like the unicorn shit. Cherish every minute of it while you can, because retail at its core, the actual business structure itself, especially when we get into merchandising and whatnot, it's not a bad gig. It's not. It's all the other existential bullshit you got to put up with, i.e. customers, which always sucks. Blame taxes, I never dip out long. You're too much. Your troll skills are too good to be off social media for too long. That's just what it is. You are. I figure you talked about getting banned on Twitter. Hey, the moment you do a Serving Times article about Elon, I'll do it. But boy, make it good and make it legendary and go out with a bang. Wow. Okay. Alex says, love what you do, never work a day in your life. Correct. Absolutely. So, hold up, Sigrid. Let me see something here. All right, chocolatier. Yeah. Hybrid says Elon buys Bath and Body Works. Hero says, I love carbs and chocolate. Could you suggest a job? Oh, okay, I got you. Chocolatier. Hybrid says, I get free food and gas. And that balance. If I had a fifth wheel, I'd probably get free rent too. Oh, yeah. Wow. Yeah, blame tag. You should do another one. You really should. I think that would be worth it. Absolutely worth it. Mel says my favorite retail job was honestly Walmart Auto. I mean, well, hey, there's nothing wrong with that, man. If you like what you like. That's what's up. Blank Stare says, I do enjoy stocking, though. That's really all I enjoy. I cleared an HBC U-boat today, and it was a decent day. That's the thing. And same thing, Alex. Merchandising was the favorite part. That was my favorite part. I loved, it's funny because my nickname was Merchmaster Steve, all right? But that's what I loved. And, Kmart was interesting because, like, when we had seasonal aisles, there wasn't a planogram. It was like, Steve, here's all the stuff. Just go. And I've got pictures. Maybe one day I'll have a stream where I show all the pictures of all the displays and shit I've built. I mean, it's a lot. I loved it. But it goes there again. It goes like talking about, talking blame tag about how if you're going to go in merchandising, you need to know Legos and you need to know Tetris. If you don't have any business doing it. Blame tag says, I had one I brainstormed with Mel a while ago that was about the Twitter bullshit, only not directly. Maybe it's time to find her. Hey, look, I love having you, on social media, but if your goal is to get banned from Twitter, man, go down fucking swinging and make it count. And you are the only person I know who could do that. Irish says, blame tag should do a story how Elon tries to get Santa laid off because he works from home or some shit. Oh, that would be good. Planograms. Yes, planograms. Hybrid says, you saw how their patio section was, right? Yeah. Um, Hero says, there was just me and another girl who were the only ones who regularly show up, and we had a decent time. Yep, you did. Jenga. Yes. Team Lens, at Target, I love merchandising. Now in Thrift, I can't stand it. Well, Thrift's got to be hard, man. Thrift has, an Irish, you probably could chime in on this. Working in the thrift store business, merchandising got to be a challenge. Got to be. Because you're at the mercy of what you receive. And not all of what you receive can be displayed decently. Mel says Twitter will implode if he gets banned. Yeah, it'll be all right. Iris says can confirm. There we go. Blank Stares, the store I ran for Dollar Tree, we did overnights actually from November to December. But that was it. Everything else was during the day. Blaine Tech says, yeah, the war on work from home is in full fucking swing right now. Yeah, because people, it's morally wrong. Is that not what he said? He said it was a moral issue. I saw that. I'm like, what the fuck is going on, man? I mean, look, they're so dead set on no working from home. I mean, it's crazy. But look, I mean, here's the thing. If you have a brain in your head, you should know why they're fighting the work from home. Because if you're working from home, they're paying for an empty fucking building that they bought. Not your problem. That's all it is. I'm telling you, if all these companies that are trying to ban work from home magically were able to get out of the leases and all this stuff for the property, they'd be like, oh, you can stay home all the fucking time. They would not care. The only reason they're trying to ban work from home is because of the real estate. That's it. I'm telling you, the first company that can work out something with their realtor or landlord to break free from that shit, gonna be like, oh, you guys, hey, we're doing great. You work from home. We're all good. It's all about real estate. It's all about these buildings. That's all it is. Joey K says thrift stores should just bulk order wooden hangers to trick people into thinking everything is nicer than it is. Hey, that's a good idea. But Joey, like with Irish, obviously being where he's at, I think there's a lot to be said in how different cultures in different countries operate. The one thing I've always talked about Irish is, knowing where he works, and obviously I'm not saying that, and being able to see those websites and whatnot, like furniture. I mean, the amount of care. I mean, obviously they get shit that they don't want to sell and shit that it's fucked up. But like the difference between like what Irish Connection has as far as furniture versus like a Goodwill here, Irish might as well be fucking Tiffany's. And, this is like buying furniture out of the back of somebody's pickup truck. I mean, it's the culture there, from what I see with the furniture, is so well kept. Whereas a lot of people look at Goodwill as just like a place to dump off their trash. And Goodwill turn around and try to sell it. Why not? Joey K says, for industries like engineering, the people that advocate against working from home do it because their job is irrelevant when efficiency is high. It's true. And Joey K says, well, actually, never mind. In America, people will start beating each other with them. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. We touched on this a while back. AI is about to fuck everything up. I hope everybody's ready. And here is the most fucked up concept of everything we've ever fucking talked about. This is the nightmare scenario. All the tech jobs, we all wind up having kids and go into the tech sector. That's where the money's at. Well, guess what? All the tech jobs are going to get taken over by AI. Guess what jobs are going to be left, guys? Fucking retail and customer service, because you can't replace that with a fucking computer or robot yet. So we went from being essential to being trash and targets for rage and violence to the last men standing. It is like there's no winning. There's going to come a time where retail is the most demanded position because all the smart jobs have been taken over by computers. How's that for some fucking irony that really sucks? Think about that for a minute. Think about it. They're not going to invest the money into having robots replace stalkers. It's just not cost effective. They're not going to replace truck unloads. All the stuff that we all do. Retail. There's going to come a time where like retail's like the only real person job, and that's just a world I don't want to live in. Alex, I mean, they are. I mean, trust me. In any way they can try to replace people, they will. But you got to look at return. ROI, return on investment. If it's not profitable for them to do that because the machines cost so much currently, they're going to use human labor. You know, planograms. You can't have a robot out there, setting a planogram yet. You know, and I don't see that any. I hate to say this. I mean, a lot of core retail jobs are probably safe for the next 50 fucking years. But you can't say that about lawyers. You can't say that about, you know, the tech sector. Hell, you can't. I don't think you really can say that about doctors either. I mean, look, all the jobs that we were all taught to aspire for as kids, doctor, lawyer, Indian chief kind of mess. We're not going to be able to do those jobs. They're going to get, we've got the technology to fucking do that without a person at a high effective level. I mean, what kind of world do we live in that retail is going to be like the only thing people can do? Boy, society's fucked at that point. Amazon does use robots for picking and stuff like that, but there's some things in retail robots cannot do. You know, it's crazy. I've thought about this a lot since I did the whole Chat GPT episode. And guys, we talk about a business that we hate, dealing with customers and all that shit. There's going to come a point in time in the next 10 to 15 years where it's the most desirable job to have because everybody's been laid off. Everybody's looking for work. And here's the thing, when there's a labor excess, guess what? They can pay as low as they can just because people need a job. And here's good old retail and customer service. You're going to have some white collar people being like, well, I got to do this. I got to pay bills. Man, as I sit here and think about this conversation, what world do we live in that retail is the last man and woman standing? I mean, wrap your heads around that, guys, because that's what's coming. Journalism, done by AI. Coding, done by AI. Networking, done by AI. Everything that is tech-based, done by AI. So you start looking at the physical jobs. Okay, what physical jobs are there? There's construction. There's retail, farming. All the manual labor jobs are going to be all that's left. Is that not like the capitalism wet dream? All the manual labor jobs are what's going to remain. We are fucked. There you go. Plumbing, yes. So crazy. But yeah, it won't stop, dear customer. But yeah, it's some crazy shit going on. I just don't know. It's insane. Give me just a second. I gotta type something real quick. Anyway, Blaine Hank says, I'd recommend to the youngins out there to learn plumbing or HVAC, auto repair. Exactly. That's the thing. Um, it's, vocation based. You remember, when we were in school, people would go to vocational school, right? And they were frowned upon because they went to vocational school. But, learning a skill is the way. Because plumbers, like you said, HVAC, your typical, I know a lot of people hate this, your traditional American jobs. You're looking at like the 50s and things like that. My ex brother in law works in like construction kind of sort of, and he was telling me that 70% of American jobs are construction. I don't know if that's true or not, but I trust him. He's been doing it for a long time, and it's you know, but he even made a comment that with the Feds raising the interest rate, as the interest rate goes up, that line of business, the amount of work you have starts to go down. So it is all twisted and all fucked up. So, it, but that's a job that, robots aren't going to be doing anytime soon. The only way that's going to get done is if they find some different kind of material to build houses out of, and they do like 3D printed houses. I mean, yes, we've seen that done with concrete, and done with a machine, but you still have the people like drywall and the wiring. But there again, it's the manual labor jobs that are going to be the ones that everybody's fighting for. When for years people were going to college and learning, something that was a desk job. Desk jobs are about to become obsolete. And I just don't know how I feel about this business that we're in, becoming bigger, for people. And because once there's an oversaturation of talent, the argument about pay goes away. They'll hire somebody as cheap as they can, and that's where we're going to be. It's crazy. Irish says, not sure if the world has gone through such a transformation since the Industrial Revolution. Next 20 years is going to change everything. You're right. You're right. The AI upswing is going to be the next industrial revolution, so to speak. And like Hybrid just said, companies will have power again. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Look, don't you think for a minute that like mainstream media isn't looking at the fact we can get rid of all of our talent and have ChatGPT write our shit for us. Off the rails. Hero says, I feel like I read an article about this. Said they couldn't get rid of doctors because people polled didn't want a robot going through long-term terminal illness with them. Teachers because same polled felt robots can't teach socialization. Plumbers and contractors because you have too many on-site variables. And customer service because the poll wants someone understanding their point of view. And that's true. Now, looking at your statement, teachers, look, the future is online school. If you give a fuck about your kids, I'm just going to tell you that right now, or their safety. Okay. You're going to find going forward that your good teachers are going to look for work in the digital realm for online schools. And, but like plumbers, contractors, those kind of things, yes, that AI is not going to affect that. It's those vocational qualities are the ones that um, really, really are going to be standing tall basically at the end of the world, because everything else that everybody aspired to do. I mean, hell, I remember, I graduated in 1988, and I was told, you need to get into these tech fields and blah, blah, blah. And now, I mean, I didn't, but now I'm looking at it and like, tech fields are about to be replaced. I mean, shit, game development is going to start being AI driven. It's only a matter of time to anything that deals in binary code, 0, 1, 0s and 1, 0, is going to be AI, which leaves just the physical shit. Retail, grocery, farming, plumbing, electric, building houses, all the manual labor. And if you really look back on it, a lot of our parents told us, we wanted you to get a career better than what we had, that you didn't have to physically work so hard. The aspiration was to get a desk job. The aspiration was to get into tech. Guess what? Going backwards. And as Caboose says in the Red versus Blue series, never go backwards. And Blame says, honestly, seeing how customers react to self-checkout, I can't see replacing retail staff with robots. Not for exactly. That's it. But that's what's going to happen. I mean, retail's going to be safe. Guys, we're like ahead of the curve right now. If we're in this business, we're already in. Just imagine, and it's going to happen fast. I'm telling you. You've got a 10. Blame Tank. I know you said 20, starting in 20. I'm telling you, 10 years. Within 10 years from today, retail, grocery, customer service, construction, vocational skills, those are going to be the only jobs out there. And, because there's such an influx of it, pay's not going to go up. It's going to be a mess, man. I mean, I hate to say this, like the fucking Matrix. It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. It's going to be like a cross between the Matrix and Skynet. And at that point, we're fucked. But just work, make your money, pay your bills, eat, have a good time, enjoy what time you have on this planet, and just go with it. But all of us here in the chat, we work in this business. We're ahead of the curve. But having said that, this has been fun. We're sitting at 9:04. So I have steaks to go cook. Why? Because I have a steak addiction, and that's just what happens. So they've been sitting in rub for about 5 hours. They're going to be delicious. It's going to be awesome. Having said that, everyone, thank you for being here this evening. Dear customer, I will get in touch with you over the next few days about doing something about LP. And having said that, everybody have a great night. Stay safe. I guess revel in the fact you're in a job that can't be replaced by AI. Fantastic. So having said that, everybody have a great night. Peace out. We'll see you next week.